How's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. It's weird. My live is up there now instead of over there. And my number, it's really weird. Anyway, we're going to go and get this bread here. I'm going to start off with the OMI, and then we'll go... We'll start off with the OMI, and then we'll go into... I mean, there's a lot that we can go over with OMI. So let's get this bread. I'm going to go and start with the price of OMI, and then we'll get into the Veve news, and then we'll get into the OMI catalyst that I think will not just happen this year, but be a... what do you call it? Which ones we get this year, why I think we'll get in the timeline in which we get them. OMI's actually down about 5.5% today, down to 00059, just below 0006. It's actually 597, but 0059 for everyone. It is, which we were up like 7% one day and then down 6% the next day, or almost 6%. Hey, Ms. J. Kill. So we had a really weird, I don't know, again, it didn't really make sense for us to pump 7%. Not that that's a crazy pump, that's, fairly normal in crypto. But either way, we erased pretty much all of the gains that we had yesterday. Let's see what the volume is. Volume is at 744, so not really a great day. There was only like 800,000 in volume yesterday. I really just think it wasn't a lot of liquidity. So somebody just bought a little bit more than normal, and the fact that there's just not a lot of liquidity down there, there's just not a lot of volume, the fact that that's probably why it went up. But that being said, I've seen a couple of people go and buy tens of millions of OMI. Like some one or two of them even bought like over 100 million at one point. Like so, like in a very, very short amount of time, and that likely should have gone on and pumped the price. So there's speculation saying that one or two of like the whales, not newer whales, like original OG whales that were part of the team, that was like a founding part of the team, that they're kind of going and selling and artificially pushing the price down. It's very, very possible. There have been, however much that they're selling, that's going to run out at some point. Obviously, they can go and keep the price down when there's less than 1 million in volume a day. But I think that when you go and, again, take a look at Flow. Flow blockchain is on like all of the exchanges, and they are... they had a worse time than what OMI did in in the bear market, where OMI was down like 95%. They were down like 99.5%. So they were down quite a bit more. In the past couple of months, I think they're up like 2x the past 3 months, Flow. But they have 100 million in volume. That they're over like $1.2 billion market cap. So what happens to OMI when we have 100 million in volume as opposed to 800,000 in volume? Do we do the same thing once you 120x or 112x your volume? Do you 112x your price? No, not right away. But I'd expect us to like 5 to 7x our price, which would probably put us right around where Flow's market cap is at about 1.2 billion. So again, that's just kind of the sense that I'm getting at here. Like, just because we increase 100x in volume doesn't mean we'll increase that 100x in price. But I do see, just from the volume alone, that is likely to be a pretty big multiplier for us. Now, again, that is not including the rest of the catalysts that Veve and OMI are going to roll out, and I'll go over those. Let's see which ones we'll go over. I might as well just go over the thumbnail here, but before I do, I just want to go and kind of compare OMI to the rest of the market, see if that has any reason. No, it's actually an up day for the market. 1.4% for Bitcoin, 3.1% for Ethereum, up 5% for Solana. The entire top 10 is green. So this is just, I think it's just a correction from yesterday. Anywho, let's go over the actual thumbnail here. All right, so what do you got? Well, you have, this was in the original OMI Notion site, where this was made in 2022, and they were saying, okay, let's, what do we do here? we go and we're going to let people know exactly what we're working on. And as soon as we get a little bit of progress, we're going to change that progress bar. So the one that you see already on the bottom right, we already have. That's a waitlist drop system. We got that last year. That's really cool. What are some of the other ones that we're going to get? Well, bronze tickets. That is right next to the waitlist drop system. Now, even though we're getting the bronze tickets and they're calculating, we're not actually going to get them until the end of the quarter, and we're not actually going to be able to use them likely until Q2, like probably April, maybe May. But as of right now, even though they are calculating, and if you do go to the Veve web wallet or the OMI web wallet, I'm sorry, you are going to get a note that says, hey, these are non-refundable, but they are transferable, which is really cool. But you're not going to be shown an amount just yet. I mean, think wind the clock's back 12 months when we had MCP just roll out. Maybe like 5-7% of people had MCP, and they were getting their points, and everyone's like, oh, I'm not getting my points, which is fine because most people weren't getting their points. And then 10%, 15, 20%, okay. And then there was the complainers, oh, I bet you all the whales and the influencers are getting their points. I was one of the last people to get my points. Like, not complaining. I'm just saying that one of the biggest influencers here is one that's getting their points last. And again, I'm hoping that they did that on purpose just to shut those other people up. I mean, like, see, you can't say that when literally the person that makes the most content is not getting their points. So I hope they do that again. I hope that most, if not every other person gets their bronze tickets before I do, so that the fudders can't say that. They can't say that they're choosing favoritism. But that is something that, even though we are not able to use them yet, we can't even see how much we're getting. That is something that is mostly completed. What else we got? Silver and gold tickets. Because the wind was kind of taken out of the sails with the gold tickets and land, I don't know how they're going to rework those. And even when they do, I would not expect that these next 2 quarters. I would not expect any of that the first half of the year. They might mention it again second half. OUP staking. And we essentially do have that. We have that for 4 MCP points, which are working, which is fine. But that was originally supposed to entail a lot more. Like, originally we were supposed to get 5 different layers of MCP staking. It was supposed to be, okay, you could have level 1 staking, $2,500 worth. Level 2 is $5,000 worth, which is kind of what we're at now. We're at, like 10 million OMI is about $6,000, give or take. But then level 3 was supposed to be $10,000 worth. Level 4 is supposed to be $20,000 worth, and level 5 is supposed to be $40,000 worth. So if you had $40,000 worth of OMI in there, you would have like the top reward. And what does that mean? Okay, 5 levels. Well, there's 5 levels of rarities: common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. And you would essentially get a free set every quarter. I don't know if that's something they would do at Ron English or something that Veve would go and drop themselves. Because again, there was going to be very few people that were going to go and do that. To put $40,000 there, right now isn't that hard, because a lot of people did spend that, or they could do that. But in the future, that would have been. So in the future, that might have worked out better, because 40,000, I think everyone would have been able to do, even if you have a small amount. If you have $400 in OMI right now, I think within the next 12 to 15 months, that $400 is likely going to be $40,000 worth. But again, that's just my pure speculation here. That's only if OMI does 100x, which, even though I believe it can do, I'm not saying that it will do it. But that being said, 10 million OMI right now is pretty doable for most people, because that's only like $6,000. And I get it. That is a couple months. That's maybe 2 months of mortgages for people if they have a mortgage of $3,000, or it's like 4 months of rent, however much you want to do it for people. But at the same time, 10 million OMI is not going to be $6,000 forever. That will eventually, at some point this year, likely be over $60,000. And then what happens when OMI gets to a penny? Okay, well that's $100,000. What happens when it gets to 2 pennies? Okay, 200. You could do the math. That's a lot. So I don't know if they're going to change that, because it's really not fair for somebody to find this project, a year from now. But staking 10 million OMI, what do you want? Like, you want me to throw in the kitchen sink as well? Because that's going to be worth tens of thousands, if not over $100,000. It's likely to be well over that. So I would say they're likely going to change that. If they don't, works out better for me. OMI staking wallet, again, we kind of already have that. Person to person, OMI to ticket. Okay, so that is something that we are likely going to be able to get in the future. I don't know when. That's being able to say, oh, hey, I have some OMI, and I ran out of bronze tickets. Let me go and use some of this OMI to get these bronze tickets, and then use those bronze tickets for extra waitlist spots. Person to person, OMI to NFT. We'll likely get that this year. Before I say what the timeline is for OMI to NFT, let's take a look at the top left where we take a look at crypto to gem and OMI to gem. I don't know if we're going to get OMI to NFT before we get OMI to gem. As you see here, the crypto to gem, that crypto pay-in was pretty close to being done. I don't know why they haven't rolled that out yet. That might be something, because again, OMI to gem only works if we're really able to constantly refill that gem liquidity pool. Originally, they were going to just donate 1 million gems to that pool, that just out of Veve's pocket. Very nice of them. Which means that we would have $1 million worth of OMI that would be burned in order for people to get those gems. And one of the ways that we'd be able to refill is crypto to gem. Let's say you put in, $100, of crypto. You'll likely have to pay $105 of crypto in order to get 100 gems or something like that. And those extra 5 gems, part of that will go, like 2.5 gems will go to the merchant, license, or whatever, and the other 2.5% would go to that gem liquidity pool. And that gem liquidity pool, that's how it would fill. So you don't really, I don't think you would want to roll out OMI to gem without having crypto to gem, but again, something might have happened where, again, this has been 3/4 of the way full for like a year now. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to go and have finished that by this point. The only reason I'm thinking is because of some type of regulatory clarity. I'm not sure what. I know in Asia you likely wouldn't be able to right now. It's very, very hard, which is why the Alibaba partnership, I don't know when that's going to be able to be done. I know we're farther along than absolutely any other company in the world on that, but I just don't know when they're... I mean, Veve hasn't even officially announced the Alibaba partnership. All we've had is really David going and posting on his Instagram. But the OMI to gem, if we can get another way to fill up that gem liquidity pool, I would say middle of the year, maybe around summer, Q2, Q3, which the OMI to NFT, I don't think we would really get until second half of the year. P2P OMI to accessory, we should be able to get that as soon as Viviverse phase 1 rolls out. That was always originally intended for phase 1. It's just phase 1 has been delayed for like a year now. So when do we get that? I think more beta invites will get sent soon. But, Dan Crothers came on somebody's channel back in November saying we're going to send out more Viviverse beta invites in the next couple of weeks. And we actually did. I was one of those people that got a Viviverse beta invite in December. And then like 2 hours later, they kind of reneged that and like, yeah, no, we're not. You're not getting that yet. It's like, oh, damn. And that was about a month ago. So now, if they still haven't sent those out, and it's been delayed a month now, even if they go and within the next month, we get more beta invites, that is still just more beta invites and not, I don't think we're really that close to getting it. So Viviverse phase 1, I'm really not expecting until Q2 at least. If they don't get Viviverse phase 1 out by the time Q2 ends and by the time, we're in Q3, like, what the fudge, guys? Like, I feel like a lot of resources should be going into that. But I'm really hoping by Q2 there. I'm really not expecting it in Q1 at all. But when that does come out, you finally do have a way to burn that OMI, because that OMI to accessory is just going to straight up burn. Moving on. OMI Spot Wallet I just talked about. Buy OMI on web app. So that was actually one of the things that they were working on as well. One of the biggest issues that I've seen people complain about, rightfully so, is the bridging process and how horrible it is. And it was for me too. And it is, yeah, we need a much easier way to buy layer 2 OMI. One of the ways we probably could do that was essentially Veve becoming in exchange, saying that, hey, let's get, I don't know if they need a banking charter for that. No, right? No, they would whatever they would or wouldn't need. Beside the point, that's something that they really need to work on. I don't know how they would do that. Oh God, I'm dying. Maybe they would just go and say, hey, I don't know how they would do it. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is if Veve or Akomi goes and they have a bunch of layer 1 and they just convert it to layer 2, and they just say like, hey, you just buy this supply. But I feel like that would run out very, very quickly. Whatever way they're able to do that, or maybe there's just a bridging process where they say, okay, we have X amount of OMI in there that's already layer 2. And as soon as people go and they hit the buy button with their credit card, let's say they want to purchase $1,000 worth of OMI, like layer 2, they use that OMI and then, the OMI that they have in there to disperse out. And then they use that $1,000 to go buy from an exchange and refill that. That's kind of the only way I could see that working. And then as they buy it, they just bridge it and do whatever. But again, if you go and do that, I would like to see a little tax on that as well, like a little bit, pay it slightly extra, because if they go and do that, then that's another way we could go and refill that gem liquidity pool. But the buying OMI on the web app, I would not expect the first half of the year. I would really expect that in Q3, after the second half of the year. Burn reward points. I haven't heard much on this in a while. I wouldn't expect that till the second half of the year, if we get it at all this year. The burn reward points is just talking about burning collectibles for more MCP points. Again, I really don't expect that until at least the second half of the year, if not 2025. OMI accessory I mentioned already. All right, so that's kind of the things that I mentioned. That's all on the OMI Notion site. I don't know if that link even works anymore. But let's go over some of the. What else am I going over here? Let's go over some of the news. People making memes of me was really fun. The Veve app made about so close to $69,000, coming nice down below the 69 on the Betty Boop drop, which is cool. Impossible not to. Oh, Eddie. So I don't know if this was Bizojman, but somebody was buying up a bunch of common alligator Lokis. I'm not 100% sure why. I think that was Bizojman. So he's trying to become Gator King. We'll heckin' see about that. Asa goes on and reports, I think he was the first person to report it. GameStop bids a final farewell to crypto with the closure of its NFT marketplace. GameStop is a big IP. They were one of the ones that them and AMC, where you had Wall Street bets over on Reddit. People were going and saying, hey, this stock is being squeezed. Not squeezed, it's being shorted. More shorts than there are actual shares available. So all of Reddit, the entire Reddit army just went and pumped it. Caused a lot of people to lose a lot of money, but a lot of people made a fudge ton of money on that. But anyway, it's a really, really big IP. It's really, really memeable. And if there was any IP that could go and say like, hey, we are like the hub of gaming. I don't know if people remember back in the day going and getting PS2s, PS3s, or when the new Super Smash Brothers game or Pokemon game would come out, we would all go at midnight. People would go in and they would bring like portable Nintendo GameCubes and we would play. And later in time, they would go and bring out 3DSs or DS Lites, whatever, and we would all play Mario Kart in line waiting for that midnight release for whatever game was coming out, whether it be Halo, like I said, new Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Pokemon. Just, oh my God, such good times. Sorry, just core memory right there. Just absolute, straight fire. But yeah, so why did they go out? I mean, wasn't eBay supposed to have a marketplace as well? It just goes to show, hey, Veve's king, and I don't want to pat Veve back too hard there. Don't pat yourself on the back, it might break your spine. Sorry, it's a Green Day song. It's called Nice Guys Finish Last. It's a great song. It's hard. It's hard out there for a gangster. Companies go and I saw it at NFT NYC back in 2022, where they. I have no issue with company going and raising 1.5, $2 million, whatever it is. But most of these people that are, I feel like a lot of them have not had a really good time in business, and it was their first time. They were just a lot of tech geeks, which is great. You need the tech people to be super innovative, and you need them to be, like these little workhorses that will have this be a passion project. But they just don't you need a big conservative like CEO in there, and it doesn't have to be big, just someone that's run a business before, say like, hey, what's our run rate going to be? Because I saw a lot of these, well, I mean, they're CEOs of super small companies that, again, they just do like a round of funding for like $1 or $2 million, and then what do? They've never had money before. They go and use it. They hire more people than they need, and they want to hire other people as influencers. So, hey, go to this project. Meanwhile, they don't have a working product. They just have a couple $1 million that's going to last them, maybe a year and a half, depending on what they're doing. Because a lot of them hire American, which, I mean, you do need that, at least one or two to head the teams. But, a lot of these guys, a lot of these big developers, they want like 150,000. And it's like, okay, well, why would I get that when I could get someone from like Malaysia or the Philippines, and they could use Copilot, and they could, they'll do it for like an eighth of the price. But anyway, that's what was going on. And almost all of those projects that I had talked to in 2022, they were not there at NFT NYC in 2023. Most of them had just, now I would say they pulled the rug. But towards the end, you're just shining the knobs on the Titanic, and they couldn't keep the lights on, so they went out of business. And GameStop, like, that's just them on just a bigger scale. And again, obviously, it's not GameStop that's going under. It's just like, hey, this new venture we have underneath our umbrella, that's the one that is not doing so well, because nobody knows how to market this. It's like when people finally started paying attention to Tesla, and like, okay, well, the cars are very fairly priced, and NHTSA confirms that they're like the safest cars on the market. They crash less, like they're just really good cars. And suddenly everyone in their system, that narrative changes. You have a lot of Democrats that were going and say, okay, electric cars are going to be good. This is before Elon Musk was like super hated by the left or by the Biden presidency. It was before Biden had launched his attack campaign on Elon Musk. And all these other car companies are just like, okay, we should really get into electric vehicles. And you have people that look at they look at Tesla like a car company, and then they went and said, okay, well, GM could do that, no problem. They have a big, they could convert that overnight. And it's like, God, you have no idea. Like, unless you were there studying and watching this, like the world's smartest man, like struggle trying to make a car company, trying to make a car that's viable and good and cheap enough, and you're going to have a good profit margin. That's why most of the rest of these car companies, like electric car vehicles or legacy auto companies that are trying to convert, they didn't do well. Why? Because nobody knew how to do it. The only person that knew how to do it was Elon Musk and Tesla. Why are all these companies failing in digital collectibles? It's for the exact same reason. It's an emerging market. Nobody knows how to handle it because it's never been done before. And clearly only Veve knows what they're doing. Now, you have Cryptoys. They're alive. They're doing well. Hero, there's still a community out there for Hero. How long I think DC NFT official had, they were absorbed. I don't know if they were absorbed by Candy or they just had a merger with Candy. I'm not 100% sure in those finer details. But I don't hear anything about McFarlane anymore. I do hear people talk about Hero. And I do hear people. I haven't heard about Cryptoys in a little while, but you have had that community. Now, granted, almost all of that community was just from Veve in general, and they'll come back. The only one that I see people talk about something new right now is just Disney's Pinnacle, which I think is on the Flow blockchain. I don't think I know. I could count on like one hand the amount of people that I know that are in NBA Top Shot. So Flow has a bunch of stuff. It's just nobody's talking about that. So as long as Flow is able to go and keep the lights on and they can still survive. Again, I don't know anyone that's really talking about NBA Top Shots or UFC Strike or NFL All Day. The only one of the properties that Flow I see people talking about is Pinnacle right now. And they have some drops. They have some revenue coming in, but they don't have that secondary marketplace. Same with cryptoys. There's just no secondary market. Oh my god, I'm going down. I'm going to need to get a drink of water in a little bit because I ran out. But anyway, that's just kind of what GameStop's going on about and why they had closed. It's very hard in this space, and not everybody knows what they're doing. Let's see. We have Okomi going and saying heart and soul is definitely needed. Jeremy Pador says love you guys, but it's time to give specific dates. And Okomi account had responded to Jeremy saying, well, actions are greater than words. The community has spoken and the team does hear you, but announcements are to come as utilities and features become available, so stay tuned. Now, I get it. A lot of people will be like, okay, more soon. That's great. It's not what we want to hear. Unfortunately, and you know, not everyone here is OG. Not everyone here has been here for a while. There's some people here that's new. Back in the day, David, Reese, and Dan, they were all on Telegram, and they were chatting with us every day. It was like, oh, we can't wait for you guys to see this. We're working on this. We're working on X, Y, and Z. And it was literally like 3 years ago. And Dan was like, yeah, in like several weeks, you guys are gonna be able to, you know, interchange clothes with your collectibles. And 3 years later, you know, just because some things happen, and maybe that's what they want to do, and they get the okay from one IP. Or one person from that IP and not the other, and we'll get that in ViVuverse. I think that's the agreement they landed on. But it's just that, you know, they get really ambitious, especially David. It's like, oh, I want to do this, and then you know what happens? It's like, hey, this is what we want to do, and they do want to do it, but then it can't happen because of X, Y, Z, and people are like, oh, it was supposed to happen. It's like, yeah, I know, I wanted it to happen too, and then it goes from, oh man, that's unfortunate, to like, guys, like, you know, 98% of these things that you say you want to do, you're not doing, or not doing at a rate in which was acceptable to those people. So there's like, listen, we don't want to like keep disappointing you. We don't want to, so we're just not going to say anything, because not only is giving you grief, a lot of fudders are forming, and it's giving us grief as well. And you know, we just don't want to hear that. So, you know, because people can be gracious, because they can be graceful in dealing with delays. Like, again, Cybertruck was announced in 2019. I was supposed to get my Cybertruck the past 2 years now. Been waiting forever. Hopefully I get it this year though. But yeah, that's kind of what Veve's doing. They're like, hey, listen, we've tried talking about things that we want to do, and we've tried talking about deadlines, and here's where we want to hit it. But because this is tech, delays happen. Anyone that's worked in tech or invested in tech before will 100% know that. But it's just unfortunately that a lot of people here are new to just this space, to just tech in general, and then investing on top of that. It's you know, you get a lot of people that are very you know, they see other people make, you know, Solana go up 10x in like 3 months, and like, well, OMI's just gone down, and it's just they get kind of rubbing salt in the wound for them. So that's kind of Okomi's response here, just saying that, hey, listen, we're just going to let our announcement speak, and be advised, I don't know if they'll continue this trend, but the last 2 times they've announced OMI utility, it was literally within 2 weeks before we would get it. Like, it was like a good 10 days before we would get it. So, you know, you could go away on a 2-week cruise, and like, you'd be like, hey, on February 1st, I'm going on a cruise from the 1st to the 15th. And on January 31st, there could be absolutely no utility announced or talked about or anything. And then suddenly on like February 3rd, be like, hey, we're going to Valentine's Day, we're going to start, you know, this new form of utility. And then they do it. And then you come back on the 15th, on the 16th, after having no internet for 2 weeks. And you're like, what did I miss? Because that's how quick it happens. So moving on here. Oh, you go down, I'm going down too. Lord Chavez Wright says, your verification process has killed enthusiasm of your project. Fix that. All right, for the Web3 purists, you have, I understand we have had the wild, wild west for many years right now. And some of us that'll play by the rules, that'll be like, okay, the government's going to figure this out eventually. Pay your taxes now. Do it all freely, but not everyone's like that. Everyone's like, oh, it's crypto. I have this on this private wallet. I have this on this exchange where I don't have KYC. And, you know, they don't pay taxes, and that is tax fraud. They avoid the tax man. and they get hecked. And people just, that's basically people just saying they want to commit crimes. This is not really something you want to say. I probably shouldn't have even said that guy's name, but I did. It's too late. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing. It's just that is a fair point. You know, there is a lot of people that don't want to do that, but unfortunately, it's like what's his name talking to Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow. He's like, "You're of a dying breed, Jack Sparrow. The corners of the map are being filled in," and it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? That means that you can no longer freely roam the seas and expect to not get caught by the world's governments. In the same way, the world is changing. The government is finally catching up after over a decade of people being able to do what they want with crypto. And now you're just not going to be able to do that. Again, regulation's starting to catch up. Again, you had a decade of wild, wild west. So Dr. Stuff goes out and says, like it or not, the requirements to KYC for all NFT platforms that interact with U.S. customers is coming. And, OMI is just ahead of the game. They're just playing ball. They're ahead of the curve. So that's what you kind of see that interaction there. Moving on here. People got their hearts broken at football the last couple days. I don't know what that was going on about, but that's just what have happened. How about... All right, so we have Arrow Shao saying, you know what? How about earning a stormtrooper through OMI staking? Building our own requirements in VVverse could be a fantastic idea. Listen, I really love the idea of taking your OMI, holding it in the app, and getting rewarded for it via airdrops. But be advised, guys. I know people have seen it before. Well, you go and you get airdrops for holding a gold logo. You don't actually get airdrops. You go to a specific place at a specific time, and you meet specific people, and then you get cards, and on the cards is a code, and you put that code in the app, and then that's how you get it airdropped. You redeem this code. And it's like, okay, well, we do that for a gold and silver logo. Why not do that for OMI staking? I believe they can, and they will do that for OMI staking. But they're likely not going to be able to say, hey, Disney, give us some of your stormtroopers for free, because some of these people want something for nothing. Ron English is an exceedingly generous person, where he goes and he has that agreement with Veve saying, hey, and Veve asks him, like, hey, we want to do something special for the gold silver Veve logo. Can we use some of your IP and give it away for free for that? And Ron English is nice enough to say yes. Disney is not going to be that nice, where we go and say, hey, we want to do something special for our OMI stakers. Can you give us something that you would no doubt make hundreds of thousands of dollars on, and just give that away for free, because we have a couple people here that want something for nothing? Disney is going to give you the middle finger and tell them to suck their cucumber about 1,000 times if you ask them that. So if we do get something like that in airdrop, it's not going to be from a big IP. It would likely be Veve specific IP. So if they want to give out, I mean, they already gave out the Veve letters, they gave out the Veve logo. But if they want to give out like Veve numbers, like V1, V2, I think that would be cool. Or if they want to go and they give out, maybe they give out FUD letters, FUD. People could have a lot of fun with that. I think that's something that they could do. But and maybe they could do that for another DesignerCon artist or another smaller artist. But they're not doing that with Disney. They're not doing that Universal. Not doing that with DC. Man, I've already talked for 30-something minutes here. Yep. Okay. 9th December. Yep. Okay. Stream. Oh, I gotta talk to her about that. All right. So Nintendo news here. This is from Calistech. Nintendo may also have legal reasons to be concerned if bells start gaining established real-world value. Bells coming from Animal Crossing, as in you go and, Tom Nook, you go and borrow a bunch of bells from him and you just never pay him back. Those bells have actual real-world currency, and a good amount. So Nintendo's saying, like, it may raise questions as to whether bells, and as a result, Animal Crossing itself will be regulated by U.S. Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, as per the Department of the Treasury's definition of convertible virtual currencies, or CVCs. So FinCEN, among its many areas of oversight, has developed anti-money laundering, or AML, regulation, vis-a-vis the usual of CVAs. A CVC, according to these regulations, acts as a substitute for real currency or has an equivalent value in real currency. Like Bitcoin, if Nintendo allows or facilitates bells to be traded for the equivalent of real currency, bells could potentially become a CVC and fall under the onerous regulatory system of FinCEN. I really hope Nintendo fights this because, heck the government. I really don't. I don't think the government should have control of everything, but we'll see. So currently, use that example of what Nintendo's dealing with right now for why we cannot transfer collectibles to another user. Because again, these are virtual assets. I had mistakenly labeled them alternative assets prior, like 3 years ago, but they have taken on the name virtual assets. That's what NFTs just fall under. Moving on here. Shout out to our bear Veve that has a secret rare Spider-Man. Bought that X amount of months ago. Good for her. And Q Yen Lai has reached level 62. Shout out to them. I love this. It's a picture of old Matt Hardy. He's like Randy when OMI moons. Yeah, that do be me. I've been called the brown Matt Hardy before. I don't know what this is about. Okay, so as far as Disney NFTs, as far as people that have Disney collectibles on here, the top 10 is somebody that has 777 items. It's an unknown wallet. Then you have S Freed 6969 is number 9 wallet, 889. Another unknown wallet, 947. You have Grubba B that has the number 6 spot at 1063. You have Todius, a guy named Adam. He's been on the podcast before. He has 1083 Disney collectibles. The next 3 are people the collectibles we're not 100% sure who they are. They're unmarked wallets. And number 1 is Dr. Profit that has 4,248 Disney collectibles. Absolutely bananas. People have had issues logging into Veve, as in like, hey, they force logged us out and we had to log back in, and we did. It was fine. I don't know what that was about, but everyone and their mother got kicked out of the Veve app. We had to sign back in. Speculate. All right, so I'll go over this one other thing before I go. Before I go to the rest of answer everyone's questions. Music. Okay, what are we gonna get? Bowie, Beatles, Blondie, Madonna. Music. We need music. This is music. Sorry, it's a scene from Stranger Things, most recent season. Oh God, it's so good. But we've had speculation, I think, from Steve Aoki years back. I think he's still likely to come on at some point. Ron English, he'll have one of his Delusionville stuff on there. I would like to see Feesh on there as well. Feesh has some, Feesh is on the platform, but like the Feesh music, there is music there for Feesh. I would likely expect more announcements on this to come out in March for the South by Southwest Music Festival. I think that's from the 8th to the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check right now for y'all. It is, yes, March 8th. That's my friend's retirement party. Well, I'm not going to go to Texas. Oh, no, I'm not going to go to Texas. Go to my friend's retirement party. Oh, lordy. We got a lot of messages here that I'm not going to get to. All right. So that's, I wouldn't expect like Taylor Swift, at least not right away. Eventually I would definitely expect her. Just because, again, if you want to be the best, gotta join the best. She's obviously probably the biggest artist in the world right now. I don't think there's anyone else currently that has anything on Taylor Swift, performance wise. Not that's currently alive. I would say, I don't know, Beatles, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, I think, is just, again, biggest artist in the world. If we did happen to get her, you'd have millions come in like overnight to get that. That would be insane. Just because they'd want to support her. So let's see what we got here. I would like Kelsey Ballerini. I've been obsessed with that song. If you go down, I'm going down too. I've been saying that forever. Well, for the last like week. I would just really expect some indie artists at first. I wouldn't expect like Green Day right off the bat. Or any type of Beatles. I think Michael Jackson I don't know who owns the Beatles music. Comment down below if you know who they own, because I am not sure. Also, I'm gonna ask everyone if they can go smash that like button as a free way to help support the channel. You know the non-free ways, because I tell you all the time. All right. So then, yeah, I'm going to go and get to these comments. Energy says, hey, fam, what's up, Energy? Chago Solo says, let's get this bread. Prince Sober says, yo, Randy, I got an idea. What if, when Veve gets the One Piece IP, they drop a digital code called the One Piece, and they hide it inside an undisclosed location anywhere on Earth? Once someone finds it, they get the NFT and become the king of pirates. On their profile has this entire thing, creating a real-life great pirate era. What you are talking about is basically the Willy Wonka version of pirates, like the Willy Wonka version of anime. Or if anyone's seen that movie, or I guess movies now, read that book, Willy Wonka says inside 5 bars, 7 bars, inside X amount of bars, most of these bars are going to be wrapped with, silver lining, silver tickets. But inside of 5 or 7 of these chocolate bars is going to be a golden ticket. And basically, Prince Hobie, you are going to cause mass panic, chaos in the streets where people HMO1 other people for these to get that one of one. I mean, like what happened with the Funko drops. Funko drops. You had what did you have? Funko drops. Everyone got those. Eventually they sold out. However, nobody has claimed that number one, which is insane. David's waiting with his 40K. He's waiting for it. Anywho, where are we at here? We have more. I got to take a picture of that though, because that's a really good idea. I don't see it happening for a while, but that's a really good idea. Connor saying hi. What's up, Connor? Wings of Adventure says, let's get this toast. I love toast. Bill Garner says, what up, everyone? What up, Bill Garner? JKLXRP says, yo. Meet Aria says, Randy, have my babies. Aria, when we get you on the podcast? When's a good day? Could have done it tonight. Where are you? Okay. When podcast? Yeah. I did. So Aria, Meet Aria was formerly known as Aria Realty, had a post the other day. I'll go over and read it right now because it was really cool. He put out a poll and he gave people a few options, as there are with polls. My God, Aria, how much do you post? I'm scrolling so much here, and you are posting far too often for me to go and scroll here. Okay, so he says 2.5 days ago. You actually still have time to vote. So it's Meet Aria or Crypto Aria _ over on X saying, did you know I'm also skillful at credit? I don't bring it up much, but I can cover topics if the audience finds it interesting. I have an 850 credit score and have led countless people to improve their credit over the years. I've mastered the system and can jump you 100 points if you find value in that. What topics would you like? So the topics were breaking news in crypto, credit and finance, Earth 2, and Veve and OMI. And so far, Veve and OMI is winning with 48% of the vote. So I'm really, really hoping that Meet Aria joins the Veve army and OMI army, and he goes on and starts making, because he does some really, really good content. Sure. Just talked you up and your post. Hope more people vote. Meow, meow, meow. All right. Going on here. Mrs. J. Kill. Oh, my bad. All right. All right. I guarantee you everyone 30 and up or like 28 and up, they go and they make a heart like this. You want to know how kids make hearts? They make hearts like that, and it's stupid. I feel like I'm throwing up a gang sign. Like, it's actually pretty close to a gang sign, but either way, it's really stupid. Bill Gardner says, "What's up, Aria? Energy, give me those hearts." Jamar Reese says, "What up, Randy? Yo, what up, Jamar? Energy, this peace sign. Siscolicious87 saying, I purchased 400,000 OMI at 000617, and immediately the price tanked to below 0006. Very interesting. Michael Campa, thank you so much for being a member. I give you the hearts as well. Bill Gardner, give me those dabs. Bill Gardner says, sounds like you got that cough under control. It's pretty much under control now. Smarty Pants says, was good. Yo, was good, Smarty Pants. Bill Gardner says, 100x. Let's get this bread. Let's go. Yep, that's what I believe. Where was I? Where was I here? Gothic Vibes says, Big Daddy Chavez. Always going to be indebted to K Collections for giving me that nickname. That is the greatest nickname, I think, of my life. Oh, lordy, there's a lot of... Yep. All right, Realty slowly growing on Twitter. End of the YouTube sub count. Very good. All right, moving on. Right on my coattails, bro. Great News has just bought 3.3 million OMI again. Come on, get that bread. I love this game. Bitcoin BMW says, have any info on Veve attending South by Southwest? David will be there. I don't know how much more of the team will be there, or if they'll have a booth there. It'd be really cool if they are. But I don't really have any other info on it right now. Neon Dragon says, what are they going to talk about in France? Any ideas? I mean, at their booth, you could essentially ask them whatever you want. You can go up and be like, hey, how's it going? I'm so-and-so. And then, just have a conversation with them and be advised, guys. Please don't ask David too hard of questions. He's going to answer. And that, all right, let's play these dominoes out. Let's say David slips up. Let's say you ask David a question in a way like, hey, I don't know, I'll pick a you don't have like the NyQuil license. I know you don't have NyQuil, but do you have the Robitussin? Oh, well, actually, me and NyQuil have been in talks. And then he's not supposed to say that. I know I just don't want to talk about a license that they potentially do or don't have. So I'm just go with something ridiculous, like NyQuil. But yeah, I know we don't have NyQuil, but do we have Robitussin? Robitussin is the absolute top tier medicine. Heck, was well. Actually, I just don't want that to happen. And then God forbid he says something that he shouldn't. And okay, you got your information, cool. And then what happens? Maybe we don't get that license anymore because you just had to have that information early, or because somebody with like 600 followers is gonna post about it live, or they're gonna talk about it on YouTube. It's like, oh God, this is why we can't have nice things. So I really hope people kind of, understand that and think about the consequences of what they're doing. But again, that's just my thoughts and worries on that. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to mostly talk about Veve. But again, if they're there, you can ask them really whatever you want. Just because you ask doesn't mean they have to answer. They can just be like, I don't know. We'll see. There's only so much that they're going to do. Only so much they could say. Job said, do you make these timelines up in your head? I mean, they are based on past experiences and yeah, rough estimates. But yeah, and again, these are just what I think is most likely going to happen. I mean, by all means, anything that I said that could happen might not happen until 2025, could roll out next month. Things I think that are supposed to happen in Q2 might not roll out until 2025. I don't know, but again, just based on logic, these are just the things that kind of mathematically make the most sense to me. Prince always says, if you ever have a kid, oh, I hope not, you think your wife will willingly let you name it Goku or some anime name? Maybe our dog. Well, it depends. I mean, if you... Guys, the last few women that I've been with... Well, see, that's the type of one that you could probably get it past. Be like, what's a Deku? If I want to name him after, like someone from My Hero Academia, what's a Deku? Or if I really like Fruits Basket, I'd be like, how about Toru? Which, I know Toru's a girl, but Toru I feel like is really a boy's name in Japan. But it's like Taylor, or Bobby or something, something like it's traditionally a boy's name, but can be seen as a girl's name. Um, yeah, I would say that, yeah, I mean, one type of women I date that are normally late 30s to late 40s, they're not having kids. Like again, my last girlfriend, Danielle, is like 49 now. She'll be 50 in like a couple months. She's not having kids. Most of the I'm going to be dating are not going to be having kids. Um, Not that I don't like girls around my age, or say a hot 27-year-old, it's fine. But that's usually not the women that I date. Um, but if let's say I do get someone around my age or a little younger, and they're cool with having a kid, not that I would want one, but if they were in anime, if they were a weeb, I don't know if I could like like I'm really hoping they have other personalities outside, because again, like, clearly I love my anime. I got that strictly because of Fruits Basket. I have the Royal Saiyan crest on me. I get Pokemon out the yin yang, Nintendo stuff. So I'm a big Japanese fan, but I'd like to do other stuff. I don't know if I would want to have a partner that just had. I mean, if you're into other stuff too, it's fine. I don't know if I would want to name my kid Goku. Got, like, let's say I name him Goku, and he doesn't want anything to do with fighting, and he's just like an artist, or she's I name her Mikasa, and she's not a swordsman, and she just wants to play basketball. I don't know. Think about how awesome it would be if your kid became an MMA fighter. He would be legendary. Uh, that would be fun if I, like, a kid got into. But again, like, to when the clock's back 20 years ago, I was a very, very, very angry kid, and obviously I can still tap into that, but um, to be in that fighter's life, to be in like that, like, where you're just angry all the time, it really not healthy, and I don't know if I'd really want my kid to go through that. Now, obviously, sometimes you have to go through that to come on the other side, being like, zen. Not that I'm zen all the time, but dude, raising a kid is too complicated for me. I would not. I'm fine, happy raising dogs. Me and Dashi. Don Juan says, "What's up, Randy? Hey, fam. What's up, Don Huyn? Don Juan? Don Yan? Meow, meow, meow. Oh, we're excited. Saying, hi, fam. What up? Bitcoin BMW says, can I just send OMI to the VV from my Coinbase wallet? No. You have to bridge it first. The Akomi YouTube channel has a video on how to bridge it. So just type in Akomi bridging or OMI bridging, and it'll be like one of Akomi's most recent videos. It'll show you exactly how to layer. Don Juan says, yes, you have to convert it to layer 2. Joe Branston said, did you pay capital gains on your biggest Pokemon card sale, or did you plead the fifth? 2020, well, that happened in 2021, but 2022 was probably the worst financial year for me ever, because I had, I had sold like $500,000 worth of stuff in 2021. Yes, there was a lot I could write off, but I had to pay big taxes on everything, and that was a very, very big tax bill. If it weren't for like taxes and that type of crap, I would have well over 200 million on me by now. But yes, I did pay that on that. Don Juan says Duff beer. Duff beer. G Flow says, Randy, can we see $100 million market cap for OMI, or is that? Do you mean 100 billion? Because we already have 100, like 60, 180, like between 160 and 180 million market cap. 100 billion is so high. I don't think so. But I'll talk about it as like probabilities. What is the probability? Because it's possible, So don't confuse possibility with probability. It's possible that it's like Schrodinger's market cap. It's possible that Tesla goes to $10 trillion. No, like, is it possible? Yes, but what is the probability of it? I would say, well, let's work about with some more realistic numbers first. And what is the price going to be at a penny? All right, well, at a penny, if there's no burns, about a 310, 305. Well, I'm sorry, at a dollar, that would be $305 billion market cap. So at 10 cents, that would be 35. So at 1 penny, we're at 3.5 billion. At 10 cents, we're about 35 billion. I would say there's a 60 to 70% chance that we get to a $35 billion market cap. That would be at about 10 cents. I would say 60 to 70% chance of that. These are just my own numbers. I'm not guaranteeing it. But again, that's my base case. I'm fairly certain we hit that. So what are the odds of going to 15 cents, where we have like a $48 billion market cap? Definitely possible, and I would consider that really more of my, my base case is 10 cents, 8 to 10 cents, but reaching 15, I mean, if it goes to 12, 30, it might get there just to get there, or close to that $50 billion market cap. I would say you'd probably have like a 40% chance. It's more than maybe 35. I would say between 30 and 35, like a third of a chance to get there. Even though it's probably not, but it might. 20 cents is you're getting to that. That's a $70 billion market cap. That is a lot. And even though that's a very big bull case, I would still give that like a 10% chance of happening. Like if we play this out 10 times, yes, 1 out of those 10 times is like, I would even say 10 to 15% chance of us reaching that $70 billion market cap, at 20 cents. And again, this is if there's no burns. $100 billion market cap, if you play that scenario out 100 times, that's like 30 something cents. 30 cents would be $105 billion market cap. If there's no burns, so we'd be at like 28 cents, give or take. $100 billion market cap would I would say like a 1 to 3% chance that happens, and 3% is probably giving it a little too much. I would say maybe even between 1 and 2% chance that you get to that 28 cent, $100 billion market cap. Maybe, I don't know, 100's a lot of times, and at maybe even 3 to 5% chance. So again, do it 100,000 times, 95,000 of those times at least. OMI's not going anywhere near there, but it is possible. A lot of things do need to happen. And then, if anyone's ever seen The Little Giants, you have Rick Moranis, what's his name? He's the coach, and he's playing opposite of Ed O'Neill or Al Bundy, and he's talking about his team of like ragtag, like rejects, is playing against Al Bundy. Ed O'Neill's team of like super jack 10-year-olds, and what's happening. His team is completely dejected. They're depleted in the first half, going into halftime, and he says, "Listen, Mike's Canyon, whatever road that they were talking about, was like, me and my brother used to race down that, and he would kick my ass every day. We would ride our bikes and race from one end of that street, all the way down to the end, and every day over this summer, he would beat me, until there was one day where I won, where this is the same thing. You guys are riding bikes with that other team, and even though they could beat you 99 times out of 100, that still leaves that one time." And again, I'm not trying to pitch this to you or sell it to you saying like, "Oh, well, I think it could." I mean, of course it could, but again, I'm saying the odds on that are very, very low. Like very low, where if you're gonna be like, how much you want to bet, I would not bet on that. Like I would not bet on that. I would bet against OMI reaching those levels. But it is possible. So again, I'll leave it at that. G Flow. Joe Brancham says, heck 'em. Yeah, heck 'em. Don Juan says, what's your plan to acquire more daily MCP, or do you have other goals in mind? I mean, if I'm already master collector, but like double, like let's say you need let's say like 850 or 900 points to be a master collector. I make like 1800 points per day right now. I don't need any more. Now, granted, that is with the help of 10 million MCP points. So I have a good amount in there. And I'll likely get more in the future. But like I said, I have a good amount in there. How's everything looking? Oh, things are looking all right. All right, let me. A buddy of mine texted me. Things are looking pretty well. I don't know which he's talking about. I'll answer him after this. Let's say hi to my friendos. I'll be like, all right. Okay, take picture. Views going up. Views going up. Views going up on my live streams. So interest is coming back. All right, moving on here. Yeah, so those are my goals for OMI are mostly fulfilled. Like you can never have enough OMI. For me, I can never have enough. It's like that girl from the intermission cartoon like 25 years ago. There was a Nickelodeon. They used to have really fun with the commercials. There was this pencil girl, pencil guy, and another pencil. They were just like pencil drawn, and it was really bad animation, but it was just fun. This girl's like, oh, I can never have enough chips, and then they keep on like feeding her chips, and then she just gets big as the world and she explodes. That was wild. For me, I can never have enough OMI. It's just for me right now, like I have nothing left to sell. I haven't worked in 3 weeks because there was holidays, I was sick, and now my boss is sick, so nobody can go into the office, so I haven't worked. So you drop a Marvel Mighty set right now, I will not be able to get it. So I would say give me like a month or two, and I will be able to go and start getting a little bit more OMI. So like I'd always said in March is when I would get it, because I don't really believe that we're gonna get any new crazy announcements in Q1. Maybe in March at South by Southwest we have an IP announcement because of the artists, but I don't really think anything with OMI is going to be done this quarter. So that's why in March, when FUD is going to be peak again, because it's been a few months, nothing's really happened. And again, they could roll out stuff like that. But I would be, I think I would be stupid at that time to not get any more. That's not saying that if I could sell one of these bad boys. It's like normally these things are 15,000. There's 3 of these that were made. I have one. A buddy of mine has another. There's one left. The guy Steve Cannon is selling it. Again, normally his stuff sells for like 25 grand. This is the first time where he's getting a predator, doing predator things. He's literally chewing on like a pork chop right there. He's a big OMI believer. He's got a lot of OMI. He said, I will sell this for $12,000 if they pay an OMI, giving you that 20% discount. And honestly, at this point, there might even be a little bit more wiggle room just because of how much OMI he would get for it. And I get a little bit of a commission on that. I don't know how much. So if I sell, if I there's stuff that I could do, like pretty quickly if I really needed money. So if OMI goes down like more, like if we go down to like 00050 level, I'll probably do something crazy and I'll get another million or two. We'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. You go down, I'm going down. Oh, gonna get it. After the, what is it? So Grumpycat, I'll go over Grumpycat in a second as my friend's asking. After the migration, oh god, I put ignition. Migration on the 18th, they'll more freely talk about the comic and game, getting people hyped. We're done with, I can't say this out loud, we're done with several of, I'll say it to you guys, we're done with several of the chapters of the Grumpycat comic, which you don't want to release just one or a couple chapters. You want to go and release them at it, like enough content to have a steady release schedule. Several of the chapters, we just want to have enough content where we can keep a consistent release of them. Some money still comes in for the project. All right. So yeah, after like the 18th, 19th, 20th, we'll get more news on Grumpycat. Jason Pena, dude, thank you so much for being a member. Says, Randy, how the heck do you find the Veve gold silver logo version 1 on the market? It is a pain. So what you have to do is you just have to go to the market on the tab. So we'll go through it together. That market tab on the bottom bar, you got to hit that. And once you do, you have to scroll down to where it says popular brands. And popular brands, you scroll all the way until it says see all. And once you view that, you have to scroll all the way down until you see Veve. And then when you do that, you click on it, and then you'll see the gold silver Veve logo. So that's the only way to see it in the market, the version 1. Yeah. Bill Garner says, look under brands, go all the, yep. You know that. Herb OMB says, super low mints are ghost. I mean, the super low mints, we really only get number 41 and above. Omar says, Steve Aoki, the founder of Audio Media, grading that grades records, CDs, cassettes, etc. They have mentioned they will do something big in March, but not sure if it'll be the same event in Texas. I'm not sure either. We'll see. Omar says, audio record grading is growing fast. It is. Pink Panther says, Sony owns the Beatles music right. Oh, Sony owns it. Okay. We have a deal with Sony. Good. Don Juan says, nice. Omar says that Rare of Ultimate Comics 1 is going up. Yo, get that bread. Don Juan says, please don't FOMO. Yeah, please don't FOMO. Omar says, I got one rare from the drop. Get it. Prayer Drive says, Randy, I enjoyed reading your investing history on Twitter. It was very interesting. You have great instincts. Wow. Thank you. I think I have great instincts too. But, I'm biased. Bing Band says, Omar, why are the rare not the common? I mean, there's less of the rare, so I feel like that would make sense. Omar says, I bought many commons from $1.99 to $2.60. Nice. Omar says, I also got the physical too. This was a great drop. Omar's super happy with that. Omar's pumped. Pink Panther says, missed it. Got 5 uncommon from the market. Damn. You go down, I'm going down too. Oh, whoa. I wonder if he put this on the market yet. You put this on the app yet? A buddy of mine, I won't say which one, got the amazing. Oh my god! I can I show my live stream? Let me see. Can I show my live stream? Yeah. And then hopefully I can. It is talking about the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, this drop, which. Oh, remaining editions is -1. I don't know how they went and did that, but they did. About 5 minutes. Okay, so it was Clever Jerk. Clever Jerk went hard on this. Do you see Clever Jerk? All right, so in case you can't see it, for the common, he got the 1, 2, 3, 4. He got the 3, 2, 1, 0. He got the 1962. And the 888. Oh, I don't know how this man did this. For the uncommon, he got the 1111. He also got the 1337. And for the secret rare, my man got the 1708 and the 2345. Oh my god, he is just my absolute. I love him. Oh my god, this is incredible. I just swooned. All right. It's so cold. Ooh, I don't want to see that. All right, moving on. Bill Garner says, I totally forgot to look at my phone until 11. Then I forgot and completely missed it. No. Omakasada says, it's okay, Bill. It happens. I had to multitask with work on VV Discord and make sure to get commons because I knew people would floor it below $3. It was a good day. The day was a good day. Bill Garner says, that's awesome, Omar. It was a good one. We would have to get burns to reach 30-ish major burns. Have to get burns to reach 30-ish. Oh, you mean like 30 cents? Yeah, we would definitely have to get that. And major FOMO, right? J-Dog says, let's go. The real deal says, so if 30 cents isn't realistic, is 1 cent? How much OMI do I need to make $1 million? Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's just like 30 cents is likely not going to happen, but it is within the realm of possibility. 1 cent is easy. That's 1 cent is nothing. And obviously 1 cent is great because that's like a 18x from here. So you know, it's definitely really good. But again, my base case is 8 to 10 cents. And I think there's a 60 to 70% chance that we get 8 to 10 cents in my base case. Pink Panther says 100 million. 100 million what? Herb ONB says, if I wanted to buy every OMI token, how many would I buy? There's a difference between how many there are and how many are available. There are 310 billion OMI tokens in circulating supply. That's all that will ever be. 5.5 billion of that will be burned from the Akomi business development wallet. Then you have about 90 billion that's held between David, Dan, and Dr. Profit. David and Dan's will likely be locked up for a long time. Dr. Profit will, I imagine, sell some this bull market. Is he going to sell 30 billion? No, but he'll likely sell on green candles a little bit. Like, I could picture him selling. I also would say if 10% would be 3 billion, 3%, yeah, I could picture him. I could picture him selling maybe 1 billion tokens. That'd be about 3% of his. He might not need to. He definitely won't need to. Maybe he might only, but you know, we'll see. And again, most people when they have a really good investment, they really don't want to sell. Like, let's say you have 10 Bitcoin. And 10 Bitcoin's worth $420,000. I'm gonna come and blaze it for 420. What do you do if you want to buy a house? Okay, you could sell your 10 Bitcoin for $420,000 and you could buy that house, or at least put a really good down payment on. Or you could borrow against that Bitcoin and you could say, okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's say they give 50% loan to value and you get $210,000. Okay, now you have $210,000 and now that Bitcoin goes up, that Bitcoin will go from 42,000, let's say, to 150,000 this year. It's like probably a little bit higher, but let's say 150,000. Now you have over $1 million in that Bitcoin, but you still only have, 210,000 of that debt. Like, again, nobody in the right mind should really sell that Bitcoin if they have it. They should just borrow against it. And then from that, then you could go, because let's say you borrow against it, you have $210,000 that sits as a debt. You can now sell an additional $210,000. Actually, what you could do, again, borrow against it, you have $210,000. Then it goes up to over $1 million because it goes up to 150,000. So you have $1,150,000, and then you go and you say, okay, well, now I could borrow against this again. They could 500,000. Okay, when they have that 500,000, that new loan takes care of the old loan. So let's say they net another 300,000. Then they can go and sell half of their Bitcoin. No, you don't want to sell it. Yeah, you could sell half of their Bitcoin. And, now you have $800,000, but because the 200,000 sits as a debt, the 500,000, so 200,000 that offsets. I'm sorry, 300,000 sits as a debt. You have 500,000 that you have in profit. but they offset a little bit. You only have to pay taxes on the 200,000, but now you have 800,000 to work with. You pay off that 200,000, you have 600,000 cash. In the next bear market, it goes down, and just boom. Again, nobody really goes at, like, if you have, let's say you have a place in the Hamptons, or a place, Eastern Long Island. You don't sell that property; you borrow against it. So, when talking about people like Dr. Profit, David, or Dan, they're likely not going to sell a ton. They're likely just going to use that to borrow against it. And I would say, so those are mostly going to be out of circulation. So out of the 310 billion, you burn 5.5, so it's 304.5 billion minus the 90, so 214.5 billion. There's also another 25 billion in the Acomi development wallet. So you really only, there's less than 200 billion that you could realistically go and get that's in the circulating supply. So out of that less than 200 billion tokens, again, someone's going to get burned. I'm not going to sell mine to you right now. But that's how much you would have to buy. You'd have to buy that many billions or hundreds of billions of tokens. Watt Mama says, my wife won a trip to Las Vegas, MGM Grand for 3 nights, and a private viewing Super Bowl party at casino. Another reason you need a wife. Lady luck. That is a good point. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the point of having all this money if you don't have anyone to share it with? That's a really good point. Oh my God. Ooh, sorry. Shoulder's not feeling so hot. Ironman LG says, do you think Veve will be at New York Comic Con this year? Because I need to make plans now. Listen, last year for both San Diego and New York, they didn't tell us. Like, I was sure they were going. Like, I know Alex came out and said, hey, listen, we're not sure we're going. I knew. Like, I told people I knew on YouTube, on Twitter. I was like, listen, they haven't officially confirmed it, but they're likely going to be there. Even though a bunch of people was like, no, we haven't really confirmed it yet. I don't know why they wait up until like 2 weeks prior before they tell us, but they do. Likely the same thing will happen this year. They won't tell us until, like, that's why I didn't go to San Diego last year. It's like, listen, I could do it now, but I have other things I need to do. Too late. But it's likely going to be the same thing this year. They'll likely go, but they also likely won't tell us until like 2 weeks prior. We'll see. Truck and Hank says, I'm getting close to 20 million. Hopefully I get there before it moves. Get that bread, Truck and Hank. Get it. Well, it says, why were you excited to buy OMI at 0003, but now you're not buying at 000, or why were you excited to buy OMI at 003, but now you're not buying at 0006? Well, I had a little bit more money. I had a little bit more free cash flow at 003. And again, I haven't worked in several weeks. And we do got taxes coming up in April. In March, I'll likely get some more OMI, but I don't have money coming in. So if I get I'll probably work next week. I would like to work this week. My boss has been sick though, so we'll see. And again, I could go and I could sell Veve NFTs right now, but I really don't want. Well, there's some Veve NFTs I'm up on, but you don't really want. I don't really believe in trading things that are super low for other things that are super low. Even though I believe that OMI is going to outperform most everything on Veve, there is a chance that Veve NFTs pump a lot sooner than OMI does, because that's just what could happen. And if it is, I don't want to sell these now, put it into OMI, and let's say I get another, 40 million OMI, whatever. And that's if I sold a lot of my stuff. If I do that, what happens? Well, if I do that, and then the Veve NFTs go up before OMI does, I could have got more, So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Smart Pants says, make sure you migrate your Grumpy if you haven't already, by the way. Yeah, speaking of which, my friend was asking about that before. Link down below to the Grumpycat Bridge. You go and you migrate it, and then on the 18th or 19th, you'll be able to claim the new ones. And then at that point, there's going to be people that haven't seen this message. I messaged all my whales. They're good. There's going to be people that haven't seen it. They're like, I didn't know you're supposed to migrate because they were gone, they weren't paying attention, whatever. Some people sold. Some people just listen. I'll sell this now. I don't want to migrate. I'll sell now, and then I'll go and rebuy after, which you can very well do. The price could very well be lower, but there's also a chance that with the relaunch and the marketing that we're going to do, and again, if they lollygag and they hesitate, like I said, most likely we'll get the go ahead to be able to really market, and we'll be able to go ahead and say like, hey, here's what's coming, and it's not just me hinting at things, and you see what the comic looks like, and you see what if they lollygag, they sell now, the opposite could happen. The price could go up and be like, okay, well now I can only get half my tokens back, and do you want to sell it low, at a 900,000, $1 million market cap? I wouldn't. I haven't sold a Grumpy, but again, that's up to each person. Again, that very well could happen. They could sell now, and not migrate, and the price, something funky could happen, and the price could be at a $600,000 market cap, and they could be able to get 50% more tokens. So who knows? Omar says the rare in real life is the super rare artist Pacelli sketch cover and limit to 10. That's why it pumped. Oh, that's why. There says there is approximately $37 trillion worth of money in the world in various forms. However, when accounting for all the money in the world, we'll make a $10 OMI. Stop it. Get some help. When did I ever talk? Okay, so listen. It's not that I said when will I never talk about a $10 OMI, because I have talked about them before. But I've done videos that explain the math behind $10 OMI, and 37 trillion is not even close to the number. The $10 OMI, if you don't have any, if there's no burns, yes, that would be a $3 trillion market cap. So I get it, that's a lot, and no way do I expect that anytime soon. When I went and I did that math for the $10 OMI, I'm expecting a lot of burns, and I'm also expecting a $1 trillion market cap next decade in the 2030s. It's not anytime soon. So this is a when you say that 37 trillion for $10 OMI, that math is not math. And again, just because there is a token is worth, let's say, at 2040 we have we have a $10 OMI token when there's no burns, and OMI's at a $3 trillion market cap. Sure, that's fine. 16 years, anything can happen. Cool. But that doesn't mean that there's $3 trillion in the OMI token. That just means that X amount of people have bought at $1, $2, $5, whatever, and they held, and the amount of people what is trading for at like the $7 and $8 and $9 mark, that's where the wealth comes from. It's not that 3 trillion would go into it. It's that, okay, it's what is it would be at $1? Okay, it's a $300-ish billion market cap at $1. Well, what happens if most of those people don't sell, and discount the burns? If most of those things don't sell, and then you just have a lot of demand for it, and it squeezes, and suddenly instead of $1, people are paying $1.50. Does that mean 150 billion more went into that market? No, it does not. It just means that now if everyone were to sell at the current price of $1.50, that means that it would cost that much money, at that time, be 450 billion. But just because the market cap increases by 150 billion or however much, doesn't mean that that's how much went into the coin. It just means that that's how much you would get if everybody sold at this price. So again, just because you have I'm talking about OMI having a $100 billion market cap. I'm not saying that 100 billion gets put into this. I'm saying that maybe a billion goes in, and because of the way that people hodl and the squeeze happens, that's the way it happens. I feel like I should really talk about that in a video, because I don't think anyone really understands that. So maybe I'll do a video on that. So actually, yeah, let me take a picture of that, and then I'll And then I'll try to explain that in a video for peeps. Whoa. Whoa. Very nice. Very nice. No warm whispers in my ear this weekend. Maybe maybe for Super Bowl. I love my friends. Whoo! Omar Saja says the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man 1. Yeah, Ultimate. Okay, that's it. That's the last of the. Oh, actually, we got. What more? These are the better mints. Release date. Oh, so the release date. So this is why. This is why Clever Jerk got the 1111, because the release date on this was November 11th of 2011. So the 1111, that makes a lot of sense. Blue Label was 11 out of the 11. Oh, damn. Oh my God, my boys got the, oh my God, that's, holy heck. Only 11? Jesus. Oh my God, Clever Jerk is an absolute beast. I don't know what to... Okay, anywho, let me go and just make sure that that was the last comment. It was. That'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for being with me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashie. Bye-bye, Dashie. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow. Where's the X button? Oh, the X button.